Yeah, Scuderia 02 is the sponsor. That was actually brought over by Art Seeger. Art Seeger Racing actually brought that sponsor to Bobby Santos and Bill Davis Racing. So had a great run qualifying on the pole, but not going to be the type of ending to this day that they would have liked.
And the pace car makes its way back off of the racetrack. And so Landon Castle continues to lead at Pocono Raceway.
Nice jump for Landon Castle. You can see the cars fan out 4 and 5 wide on this long, wide straightaway.
If you're Rick Hendrick, are you very impressed with what this young man has done in the 2 ARCA RE/MAX Series races we've seen? Obviously, the first one ended very short, but he showed a lot in practice and qualifying at that racetrack.
He really did, and I would be very impressed, as I'm sure Hendrick Motorsports is. And he also ran the Busch race at St. Louis a few weeks ago and did a good job there. Got taken out in an accident, not of his making, but had a good run going there, running in the top 10. So a lot of talent at Hendrick Motorsports right now in Landon Castle.
Seeing Joey Miller in that number 32. This is a 1-race deal for Joey Miller. Sold off most of his equipment, and one of the deals with selling off that equipment was, let me run one more race. Wendy.
Joey Miller has had a little bit of a rough day, just picking up a push, needs some rear downforce, really tight on that machine. Now they're off pit sequence according to everybody else. They pitted at lap 13 and took 4 tires, but here's the thing, at lap 25 when everyone pit and took tires, they came back down to pit road but took fuel only. So tires are a little bit older on the Joey Miller number 32 machine. So seeing these tire issues today, I don't know if Joey Miller is concerned about it, but we do know his tires are older than everybody else out there right now.
And Joey Miller, I talked to him just before we came back over here onto this side of the racetrack, and Joey said, you know, hey, if you could mention back to my fellow Minnesotans, you know, our thoughts and prayers are obviously with all the families and the people who are involved with that tragedy that took place there in Minneapolis with the bridge problem. So he said, if you could mention that for me, I'd greatly appreciate it.
See a lot of good racing all over the racetrack. The 11 of Brian Silas on the inside of the 6 of Dexter Bean going down in turn number.
Oh, problems with Landon Castle into the wall. Saw some tire debris on the racetrack prior to seeing Landon get into the wall. I'm not sure if it was his tire, but the caution comes out once again. It's our 5th caution of the day.
He was running such a flawless race. You have to believe that there may have been an issue with his tire to put him into the wall like that. What a tough break for that Hendrick Motorsports driver, Landon Castle. Let's take a look back at what happened, Rick. You see him go. You see the tire debris coming off right there.
Sure enough.
Yeah, it went down in the corner. The tire went down and did not have the grip for that car to turn, and made some pretty hard contact with the outside wall.
So our leader, Landon Castle, seeing the same problems we've seen from a few others today. Tire issues at Pocono. Michael McDowell has taken over the top spot after Landon Castle cuts a tire, gets into the wall in turn number 1, and here they come down pit road, led by Michael McDowell. Let's go down to Wendy Venturini. She is with Josh Wise's team.
Josh Wise, who came down pit road second in that line. When he hits here, he's going to get 4 tires, a slight adjustment. He said he needs to get off turn 3 a little bit better. They're making an air pressure adjustment and also going down on the track bar. Josh Wise is in his window. He can go the rest of the way. You see that wedge adjustment being made right there. Of course, this is Michael Waltrip Racing's Nextel Cup teams collaborating on the pit road here. A solid pit stop, a little bit trouble there, but he's down.
And just in front of him, getting off of pit road, was the 98 of Erin Crocker. She made her way off of pit road ahead of the 2 of Michael McDowell, so the 11 of Brian Silas.
Frank Kimmel also got out there, so that he was able to overcome that topping off on that last caution flag. And Frank will probably have some pretty good track position here. There's Jeremy Clements right there in the 3 car.
Again, this was the 5th caution that came out. Landon Castle, who was our race leader, had about a 100-yard lead over second place Michael McDowell. Cuts the tire going into turn number 1, and into the wall he goes, and a lot of damage to that car. As a matter of fact, so much damage that they're pushing him behind the wall now. They'll push him into the garage, probably ending the day for Landon Castle.
Yeah, tough break there, but a lot of talent. He was very impressive here, and he will have a lot to take away from this event.
Jeremy Clements out in front of the field now. FoxSports.com and SpeedTV.com form the most powerful online team in NASCAR. Breaking news, in-depth analysis, detailed driver stats, and more. Log on to SpeedTV.com right now.
We do want to report that Justin Marks was able to be released from the infield care center. Checked out okay. He made that hard contact earlier with a wall in turn number 1.
So again, we're under our 5th caution here at Pocono. We're past the halfway point. Again, 80 scheduled laps. We've got 33 to go. Let's look back at how we have gotten to the point we are at now at this racetrack. Early on, it was the 59 of Justin South with engine problems.
Yeah, second one of the weekend.
Then the tire issues started. We think that was a tire right there. Justin Marks hitting the wall very hard in 1.
Yeah, sure did. Then we see Travis Bobble, that white car, middle of your screen. He loses a left front tire.
Patrick Shelter gets sideways going through turn number 1. He slides into the infield. And right after he did that, this happens for Bobby Gerhardt. He blows the left front.
Yeah, actually under caution. And then our most recent caution flag, Landon Castle leading the race, cuts down a tire going into turn number 1. He makes contact with the outside wall.
Our aerial coverage brought to you by Goodyear. Get there on Silent Armor Technology. Jim Trade, I believe you've caught up with young Landon Castle.
And thankfully he's okay after a hard lick. Landon, any warning at all for you before the tire went?
No, the car bottomed out a little bit right when I let off the gas, so I tried to ease it in the corner, and it didn't. It really didn't steer into the corner. So Stanley Vidmar Chevrolet was awesome tonight. The car was just perfect. I mean, couldn't have been any better. The guys just worked so hard on it. I can't thank the Busch team enough for coming, taking their weekend off to help me out and do this ARCA race. And I can't thank the R&D team enough for preparing the car in the shop. So the guys back at the shop, you know, we'll make this thing better, and we'll go get them next time. And I just got to thank Stanley Vedmar and these guys for coming to help me out.
You've got a great support crew. I saw Lance McGrew down there, Ken Howes, a lot of Hendrick overseers that really look at many different areas of the teams, coming to your aid and kind of feeling things out. When will we see you next in the ARCA REMAX series?
I think we're going to run Talladega next, so you know, hopefully we can just have a successful run there. Maybe we'll have as good of a Stanley Chevrolet there as we did today. So, you know, and I just got to thank Lance and Ken and Mr. Hendrick and Doug Ducard for giving me this opportunity to put me in this car.
Thoughts of Landon Castle, guys?
Thank you very much, Jim. And you know, that young kid, he just seems so, I guess, experienced at such a young age.
Yeah, polished.
Polished. That's a good word.
When I was his age, I was 2.5 years from ever running my first competitive lap in anything. So they start younger and younger and younger, and they do a great job. And Jeremy Clements is another young guy, a 22-year-old that's doing a terrific job, and he has the lead here on this restart.
We saw Patrick Shelter slide into the infield in turn number 1. Well, right now he is right behind Jeremy Clements, running second here at Pocono.
Here comes the gold rush again down the front straightaway. You see Bobby Gerhardt move to the inside as well as Frank Kimmel. Now Frank ducks back towards the outside.
Billy Tanner right now being scored in the 3rd position in that 07.
Look at Michael McDowell on the outside, passing a lot of cars on the outside, making it 3 wide.
McDowell making the move as he was running back in the 18th position when they went across the start-finish line. So making a lot of ground up through 1 and into 2.
4 wide in the Long Pond straightaway. Josh Wise on the very inside. 3 wide through the tunnel turn.
Normally that doesn't work out here.
Two wide is a stretch through the tunnel turn.
2 and 3 wide they continue as they go into the A little bit wider sweeping turn in turn 3, but it is very flat down there as we look back from Bobby Gerhardt's onboard to Frank Kimmel.
Yeah, remember we saw Bobby Gerhardt lose a left front tire. Fortunately, was able to stay in the lead lap as we see the cars 4 wide again. There's Michael McDowell on the inside of Bobby Santos leading that. There's Josh Krug, the 23 on the inside. Here's Brian Silas. He's being shown in the 15th position. You can hear his rev limiter kick in right there.
Oh, problems right there. We saw Josh Krug get right into the back of the 0-2 of Bobby Santos. And so a lot of damage to the right rear. That brings out our 6th caution here at Pocono.
What a heads-up move by Brian Silas. He stayed in the throttle there because we knew that 0-2 of Bobby Santos was going to come back up the racetrack. He was able to get by before Bobby came up on the high side of the racetrack and collected him.
Lap 51. The lap we are on where this caution has taken place, and Bobby Santos the third starting on the pole once again here. It's his 2nd career pole. Was mired back when he came through the start finish line. That last time was back in the 34th position.
He's had some issues. He's had some left front tire problems, but that certainly had nothing to do with him right there. He was a victim right here. Take a look at that. We saw the 32. We were the 23. I'm sorry, of Josh Krug. You see Brian Silas just barely get by
close.
That 0-2.
Again, we were riding along when we saw this take place the first time. There comes Josh Krug and just slides up into Bobby Santos.
Yeah, I think that was a situation that Josh just got in the corner a little bit hot. We could see Brian Silas back off, and all of a sudden out of the left side of the screen we saw Josh Krug run up in there, and he just was not able to stay down on the bottom of the racetrack, and unfortunately made contact with Bobby Santos in the 0-2 here, and it's going to end his day.
Safety crew helping out Bobby Santos the third.
See him get out of the car right there. That's a good sign. Pretty hard lick there on the driver's side.
Wendy Venerini, what's going on with Jeremy Clements?
Now here's what's interesting about our leader, Jeremy Clements. They last pit on lap 25, 80-lap race. They said, oh, we're good to go for the rest of the way. But unfortunately, they think they have enough fuel despite with all these caution laps. But I don't know, Phil. I'm putting the numbers together, and I'm not seeing enough caution laps adding up. It's going to be for Jeremy Clements trying to roll the dice with his crew chief, Glenn Clements, here on pit road.
Wendy, if I was you, I would tell them to forget their calculators and come down pit road, because they are not going to make it the rest of the way.
Now.
I mean, now would be a good time. The previous caution would have been a pretty good time.
Yeah.
They are not going to make it.
You look here in the pit box of the 3. They're looking at their notes, and no calculator here on pit road right now. So maybe I don't know. Maybe they're just bluffing. But you're right. If now's the time to do it, I would say.
If they don't have a calculator down there and they make it all the way, ARCA will tear that car apart to find out where the other fuel cell is.
Yeah, there's just absolutely no way that you can go that far on fuel. Even with the caution laps, you're going to get better fuel mileage. But pit road is open. We saw the green flag, and we do not see Jeremy Clements making his way towards pit road. And the problem is now, if he finds out and they refigure and say, oh, gosh, we're 15, 20 laps short, well, number one, he may run out on the racetrack unless he catches another caution flag. And when he does come down pit road, he is going to lose all his track position.
Yeah, that's 54 laps. And on a 2.5-mile racetrack, I have a hard time doing the math.
I mean, that's 130 miles or 135 miles or something like that, and it's not going to happen. These engines are not restricted. These guys are making upwards of 800 horsepower,
right,
and it takes fuel to make that horsepower.
22-gallon fuel cell, and so if they think they're going to make it, they may have to recalculate. But it's Jeremy Clements out in front of the field